Brilliant, 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 brilliant.
How are you?
I'm very good, very good. Got all the content in the transition course.
Woohoo!
Yeah, just doing the tasks and exercises and quotes and
Nice,
stuff. Yeah.
nice.
It's very difficult actually. It's probably difficult and not difficult in this that I don't feel fully connected or comfortable or that that fluidity that normally is there, a cohesiveness.
Yeah,
I don't quite feel it in this case because always it's been very very personal, very individual, very customized
right.
when I've shared this. So uh,
Oh,
it's
oh, like you're thinking of someone while you're doing it, and then it just
and it's
flows from there.
yeah, because it's delicate and it's sensitive.
What
So
about, I thought you had a reference to Mary Berman with it.
I do, but even that, I looked at the whole conversation, and even so, though, it's pertinent and relevant to her.
Oh,
The references and instances, she knows what I mean and what I'm talking about, and it's
right.
deeply meaningful to her. Somebody else may not have feel that same way about their relationship. I mean,
Right.
there may be somebody who's transitioned that they didn't care about, and I'm happy they're gone, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that was that woman here. She didn't care that her husband was gone. She
Exactly.
said,
I was going to mention that.
transition, she said,
Yeah.
transition is not my problem. She said,
No,
it's the
exactly.
excess baggage that I've
Ex-
been carrying,
Exactly.
in her life, with her,
Right.
the
This is
alcohol.
a
Yeah.
right. Her issue is management of details, actual facts and stuff. Asset management and
Yeah.
organization management, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time and energy. It's a money thing, really. You want to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
down to it.
Exactly. She said, it's not my husband's death,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I was going to tell you she's not a candidate for the
No,
transition
and,
course.
and as soon as she was here and was talking more, I'm thinking that transition isn't her problem.
No, no. Unless she feels guilty for feeling a bit relieved.
No,
You
not at
know.
all.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Good. Good. So yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actually even mention guilt. In
Well,
see,
guilt's a
there's
big
so
deal.
much.
Guilt's a big deal because
Exactly.
either,
Exactly. That's how I have to go back and add guilt in there
yeah,
because
because
exactly, it's a huge deal. That's what I'm saying. There's so much that comes into it. Without me responding to the person individually, it's hard to remember all the things. So
Mhm.
it's very interesting. So anyway, I'll go and add it.
Yeah, guilt's a big deal because it could be their own guilt for not doing enough for them, um,
Exactly.
or
Or not
something
appreciating
being
while
done to
being
them.
alive, and guilt is a
Yeah,
dreadful thing. So,
yeah.
and then you
Survivors, like survivor's guilt is one thing,
exactly, exactly,
like
or
9/11.
guilt for not feeling sad.
That's right. That's right.
That's the
Yeah,
biggest one.
yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you start to shift this, I mean, I did speak about obviously transitioning to joy and celebration. So I'll just mention that, when we shift this way, then we also remove the guilt for not feeling sad because we don't always feel sad. Let's just be honest. I did put in honesty in there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody,
it's interesting to me.
yeah, somebody put on one of my sites this morning, a mindset, or I don't know what the hell site it was, but about they lost their father, their sister, I mean, like four people, like instantly. And how do you, they're having trouble functioning. They didn't say it in those words. I should try to look at the thing. But I said, instead of focusing on the loss and the sadness, I said, focus on the gifts that relationship brought you,
Yeah.
and make that perspective shift. So I don't know if they answered. I'll have to look here. I don't know. They're either going to come back and say, what the hell's wrong with you? No. um uh, no. How's Bina? Have you
I haven't heard from her, so I mean, I see her online, so I'm assuming she's good.
Okay.
When she wants to come, she'll come, and when things allow, she'll come. I'm assuming. I don't know. So
Mhm.
I haven't heard
Mhm.
from her. She wants that space to do and pay attention to what she needs to. So well, I'll
Yeah.
just leave it. Give her that space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah. Everybody needs it. So every so
yeah. I
often.
mean, we chatted a little bit about some of the stuff she was working on the finishing the slides up, and so we took care of that, and then she turned on her phone and she got a first call was from a 928 number in the States. So she
Really?
messaged me, yeah, to ask me if I recognize the number. I said, no, it's probably some telemarketing call because I called them. I called the number and it just hung up immediately, which I think is what happens when you try to call um, uh, a telemarketer back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I said to her, no, nothing. So, okay. So, yeah, just minimal stuff. So,
Hmm. Cool. Okay.
I saw something interesting.
But
Somebody was talking about, oh, I'm stressing. I have to go back to work, and it's a negative, hostile environment. I'm so anxious and blah and blah, And then somebody said, oh, I don't know, I forget how they said it, but you can force them to treat you nicely because anxiety is now a disability. That was my reaction. I'm like, holy fuckamole. I'm sorry, but
we're
you
fucked.
know,
We're
Jesus
fucked.
Christ. I mean, this is the beginning of the end if you want to now insist on this
Absolutely.
crap. You know,
Oh,
it-
God's
it's not
sake.
a it's not something that you can't deal with. It's not something you're
Ah,
forced to do. And I mean, can you imagine?
oh my
Can
God.
you
Another,
imagine if anxiety is generally treated as a disability? Oh
wow.
my goodness, everybody's gonna have disability.
Jump on the
Wow, of course,
wagon.
exactly.
Another crutch that will
That's
never get
terrible. Yeah.
resolved.
It will implode. It will implode because they will have to take away because everybody's going to claim it the same way they do already claim it when they need to get a marijuana card. In the states where they don't have a recreational marijuana,
Yeah, right.
everybody's got anxiety or back pain. One of the two. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like come
God.
on. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
And they said this was wherever they were. This was well, apparently this is already a thing. I can see how it could be, but boy, you asking for trouble with this. You're opening a door
Exactly.
to
Find
all sorts of crap.
find the replacements. Don't, again, this is the pill takers, the drug
Exactly.
they're gonna find anything to find a false coping mechanism for it.
Exactly. And the legitimization of indulgence.
Oh, please,
Right,
absolutely.
right. I mean,
Oh God.
this is Trump's popularity. People see themselves. If
Yeah.
he is a leader, president, it legitimizes me, who I see myself in Trump. It legitimizes me. I see my own crappiness. I see that same nastiness, that same superiority, that same egotism and self-importance, all this crap. So of course I've got to support him because I'm supporting myself. It's legitimization of indulgence. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, you would think the psychologists who declare the stuff because the whatever they call themselves is the um, uh, like the ruling body for psychiatry or medicine, they have to officially sign off and say yes, this goes into our journal as a disability, etc. Boy, you'd think they would have more sense to understand how they're empowering this and gonna just now
Oh,
create a freaking epidemic. If this is so, maybe under certain clinical conditions, yes, but I don't
oh my God. Oh
know.
my God. Yeah.
However,
That
if
is
you
some
do,
sad fucking news. That is.
yeah, exactly. But those same psychologists, though, if
Yeah.
it's declared a disability, now when you get treated for it, you can write it off against your insurance and all stuff.
Yep.
So there's usually some money shit behind this nonsense. So
Absolutely.
it's too fascinating. I just like
Oh
you. I
boy.
just laughed when I heard this. I
Ay,
say,
ay,
good
ay,
luck
ay.
digging your own grave. Good luck digging your own grave.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah.
yeah,
All right. I think we're on module 2 of freedom from anxiety
yeah.
and like slide 12, module 2. Yeah. Looks like slide 12.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to start.
Anyway, I'm very glad that that I got the transition done. Like I said,
Yeah.
it was really difficult,
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
there's
I can't
still
wait to look at
not a,
that
yeah, yeah.
because
I'll,
again,
I'll I'll
just
put
yeah.
it up as soon as I can. Um,
Mm,
I just got to do the. I'll put it up before I do the audio. I just want to finish tweaking and going through it to do the quotes and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you hear from Cheryl at all?
Except that she won't be here this week. No, I did chat to her,
Not going
on
to be here
Monday.
tomorrow either.
I'm not sure. I think she said the whole week. Yeah. So
No,
I'm not.
first she just said Tuesday only.
Well, I hope so. Oh, okay. Because I spoke to her on Monday, and she was off, but she said she's very tired and her body aches. So I said, well, if you take a nap, you maybe want to come on later.
Mhm.
I extended how long I'd be on available, but I didn't hear from her, and so
Yeah,
I just
no,
assumed
she's
she
only
wouldn't be.
supposed to be off on Tuesday.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, she
So
did. I'm
she'll
not
be here
sure,
tomorrow.
so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not-
yeah.
I'm here
Well, you
anyway,
can
so
check in with her, just say how you feeling, because you talk to her. Say, will you be here, or will you be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow? On your regularly scheduled.
let me check right now. Let me check right now. While I remember, so I don't forget. I like to do it right away.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Always
Otherwise,
better.
it
Yeah,
leaves
do
me.
it now. Later never comes. All right.
Okay.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yes, yes, yes. So we're on slide 12.
Slide 12, module 2.
Yeah.
The pressures of should. Anxiety and worry are mainly shoulds. This makes you think you are automatically good. Shoulds make us believe that it is a good we must do. When we understand the association that it holds and what they imply, you understand the fundamental connection to worry and anxiety.
One second, Sue. 1 second. I'm module 2, module 1. Oh, module 2. Yeah. Being aware of exactly what anxiety and worry is. Right. Sorry, I was on the module 1, not module 2.
Many things we feel we should do, things like worry, because we do not know there are other options. When we don't know there are other options and add that to default conditioning, it restricts what we do and we don't even realize it. So my takeaway is, for me, shoulds are crippling to us because they make us believe we must do something like have anxiety or worry. Lots of time, the option of worry is chosen because we don't know what other choices are there. So when you don't know there are other choices and you add to that default conditioning, we act without even thinking about it.
Exactly. And from our point of view, this like, what do you mean there aren't any other options? It seems so like kind of a duh. It's so obvious, so ridiculous that this is not being considered. But we need to consider that what's obvious to us is not obvious
Obvious
to
to
others.
them. Absolutely. I mean, how many
It's a
times has that
huge deal.
slapped
Huge.
us in the face? And for me, like, really? I mean, I don't say to somebody, really, but
Right.
But you
Right.
think in your
Right.
head, really?
Yes.
But they
Yes.
just don't know.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
try to play it down and go,
Yes.
oh, yeah. There's lots of
Yes.
other
Yes.
options, you know?
I want to shift that really in my head to I understand. So
Yes.
and then to come at it because it is that always that cueing of your awareness. So now I shift to
Yes.
okay, there is such
I
I
understand.
understand. I understand.
Or
I
that
see
makes
the big
sense. That
yeah,
makes sense.
exactly. It makes sense for where you're at. You're not seeing these
Exactly.
options. Exactly. It's
Exactly.
understandable. It's understandable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Distortions of guilt. Uh, we feel unprepared or even incompetent when we do not do what we know we needed to do because we made no efforts to learn, or it could be from guilt we feel about our lack of appropriate effort. So we can easily turn this into anxiety or worry. Guilt is not a good feeling because it because of its implied origin, which connects to our implied responsibility. When people feel guilty, it is easy to go into anxiety and worry because it is perceived as acceptable. And even that, we are good for feeling guilty. This is how anxiety and worry are many times just distortions of guilt and other feelings we don't want to deal with, feel, or acknowledge, like shame, anger, resentment, jealousy, etc. And it looks like I forgot to do a takeaway. So let me think about this for a second here. Yeah. I think what this just really comes down to is unawareness. When you don't realize, you're unaware that you're even doing the guilt thing, or that because it's so conditioned and automated, or that you feel like you are just, on some kind of autopilot that's just looping you and justifying things because you're in an immersion or you're in unawareness.
Exactly.
And that's what can surely grossly distort guilt because you can't see the bigger picture. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so key. It's so key. And again, we come back to this. Our awareness is not the same as others, and theirs not the same as ours. We always have to keep that in mind. Always, always, always. That difference in awareness. And our job is to share awarenesses when we make a space for that awareness, the vacuum of that space to pull in new awarenesses. But that doesn't always happen of its own accord. So sometimes we may need to share them or cue them or prompt them or ask questions to bring them about, So yeah, just good to be aware of this, the different awarenesses.
Yeah.
I got a message from Robin now, by the way, long one. So
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
all right. She can wait.
She sent me a really cool message after she met with Dan. And
I was wondering how that went. Yeah, cool.
let me read that to you really
Oh,
quickly.
brilliant, brilliant. Okay, listening. Good, good, good.
She says she heads it, repeat back. It will
Mm.
come. The brain gets involved. Takeaway. Wow. Dance with the tissue. Warm it, get to know it, listen, and invite it in. Clear, create space. By listening, one can hear when the tissue can and will move, applying
Ah,
just what is needed, not what is expected.
ah,
Origin and insertion is key. It organized the dance, allowing for release to occur and more space for the structure, bringing strength of self, boundaries, knowing, respecting, and educating. Less is so much more.
yes.
Change by intention with intended technique.
Mm,
Patience is key. Patience with the dance, listening, and most importantly, learning, feeling
mm.
blessed. I said, wow, that's, I said, is that what you got out of your session with Dan? She said, yes. I said, freaking amazing. You go, girl. You definitely got this. See, Dan is really tapped in and just full of awareness, and he doesn't have that mechanical aspect to his work. So what he did was, evidently, I thought they were just going to talk, but evidently he gave her a treatment. And as he's treating her, he's talking and explaining, and she must have been in an extremely full of capital R receptivity, that's what she got out at the end.
Right. That's what makes me happy, because the whole session, that's what I was talking about. And she took everything that I was talking about and applied it, in order to be receptive. So I'm very happy at the application that she applied to absorb, be open to it, and to hear stuff and to listen, and less is more, and patience and all this stuff. So fantastic.
Absolutely. So, and so now she'll go there Sunday and give Dan a massage, and I'm sure he'll walk her through.
That's going to be interesting for her.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. So I think she's having a bit of a hard time today. Let's see.
What she's saying.
Let's see what she's saying. Where's she now? Let's see. Wow, boy, am I aware of mood management today. I'm being irked by steps others are taking. One, because they are attempting to do jobs that are not theirs and have been told in the past to not do. And because they do not have the skills for certain jobs, are continually creating more work for myself. So the management comes in patience, and I don't have the authority. A real test of mood and energy, and just doing. This is not easy, lol. But on a different note, last night our chapters in massage all about listening and creating space. All right, there we go. All right. Very cool, very cool.
So slide 14 is tasks. It says, try not worrying about something and see what happens.
I don't know why that strikes me as some music right now. Just for most worry pots, they'll put it in to be a little bit kind of, teasy a bit, because they just can't, the manner that we suggested.
And I really had to think about it. Because like you said, I'm not a worrier. I might be a thinker, but not a worrier.
Not a worry pot, no.
Okay, let me pick something, so for me, I said, I will try not to worry about what my next work adventure is. When I worry, it makes me feel inadequate or incapable, but in the minute I let go of worrying about it, the opportunities come forth to show me just the opposite. Exactly. So I need to not spend much time on worrying. Initial worry can be used to leverage me in my awareness to try harder, be better, and be impeccable always. Yeah. So again,
you find that if I find I'm thinking about something in a way that could be construed as worrying, I automatically say, am I not trusting?
Exactly.
That's it. And then it shifts. Then I leverage my self-conception and my integrity to say, how is it that you are not trusting? Have you not done everything you need to do? Well, no. All right, well, then do it. If I have, then stop bloody well being full of nonsense and just trust, So now, sometimes we don't trust because we might have a niggling suspicion that we haven't done everything that we could do. We think we've done it, but have I missed something? Again, it's legitimate when you think it through. Now, to do so without stress, then it's not worry. To do so as a matter of thoroughness. Am I checking again? Okay, I'm being thorough. I'm being disciplined. All right, that's cool. I'm not stressing about maybe I've missed something. There you go. And then two, I can say, all right, I've checked everything and I still have this feeling. I still don't need to have it there with stress or anxiety. I can simply keep it as an open option to say, okay, I don't know what I might have missed, but I'm going to stay open and alert and let it come to me. right? I'm trusting that it will come. Either it come from inside, as like, yeah, I forgot about it. Okay, boom, there it comes. Let it surface, put in the search, or have it come from outside. Either way. And then two, that massively shifts, trusting that it's okay, or trusting that what I
Yeah.
need to know will come.
Right. And that trust can be an advance, like that distrust can be a good trigger to say,
Yes,
did I
exactly.
miss anything? You know, do I need to do a little more work here? And, bingo, that
Exactly.
takes you right out of worry, and it makes you apply and do so
Exactly.
that you
Exactly.
complete something.
I
You
stay
think it
open.
through
I
again.
stay open, and I'm open to inspiration. I'm open to connection. I'm opening to remembering. I'm open to whatever needs to come. I don't
Right.
close it down entirely. So my
Right.
trust is, I'm trusting not only that what I've done is enough so far, but if I need to do more and I don't know what it is right now, I'm trusting that it will come to me what I need to do. There we go. So
Right. Right.
your trust isn't a static thing. It's alive. It's evolving all the time. It's adjusting and adapting as appropriate. It's very powerful. Very powerful. Yeah, yeah. So the first question was really for the second question.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Do you feel like a bad person when you don't do that? Is this valid if you do? For
Yeah.
me, no, I don't recall really feeling bad because others are worried or because I feel I need to worry about something. No.
But a lot do. They
Yeah.
absolutely feel like they're a bad person if they don't worry.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then the question there, is this valid? They
Hmm.
never thought that whether it's valid or not to feel like a bad person if you don't worry.
Hmm.
It's like, wow, uh, how do you justify it? It's a
Hmm.
powerful question.
Yeah. Very big question.
Yeah. Yeah.
How else can you show or apply your goodness and caring? For me, get involved and do something, anything that will be contributing to the positiveness instead of adding to the negativity. Ask
Exactly.
the person what they need. Sometimes
Exactly.
we assume they are in trouble or they need help, and we
Yeah.
really don't need help or for you to worry about them. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes we assume
Exactly.
they're in trouble or need help, and we don't really need to help them. Yeah, need to help
Yeah. Yeah.
or to worry about them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're feeding, another
Like virus. Exactly.
virus. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw a quote. One of the, he's got a science fiction group or thing that he runs, and he said, "Oh, uh, I have to paraphrase the. I never remember these things exactly, but essentially it goes like this: that we're in a situation where we aren't evolved enough to realize that we've been defeated by a virus. It's like the aliens. It's like, wake up, people, wake up! That you've already been defeated by the virus. They said. That was very funny, though.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder, though, if this will lead to some sort of a bigger shift in terms of the world, because when you look at this from a percentage point of view, in the time that it's done, and no wars have ever led to such a massive loss of life in such a short period of time. Never, never. It's unprecedented. So I really wonder what this will do from a evolutionary point of view. It's quite
Yeah,
amazing.
I think it's part of it's really. I think it's population control in a weird way. Uh,
Exactly. And awareness too, not just population, but awareness, because even if you don't have somebody who's directly died or you still know about it. So there has to be some shift in consciousness and awareness and, deliberateness and understanding all sorts of stuff. So it's
right.
pretty amazing. Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Powerful stuff.
Do you have to do a should or do you have a choice? Make a list of typical shoulds in your daily life. For me, there's always a choice. My shoulds are or have been Yeah.
I just realized my question. Do you have to do a shoot?
Yeah.
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 All right.
It
Big
should.
naughty. Big naughty.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Now somebody clicks the joke. I'm thinking of the second question.
Ah,
You know how they could tease me back there, right?
yeah, yeah,
How graphic do you really want to be, Sol? You want video? Anyway, yeah.
So my shoulds, I always think there you have a choice, but my shoulds are or have been, I should be in better shape and work out harder at what I do. I should make more friends in the neighborhood. I should cook more variety at home more often. I should learn another language better. I mean,
Why?
exactly. I mean, they're silly, when you really
I know. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating when we really look at shoulds,
yeah,
Ah, just
yeah.
too
And
incredible.
and at least mine are not,
It
I
could
don't.
be a lot worse. Yeah. I mean, you're
uh,
making a list because you're being thorough. Yeah. I appreciate that they are very minimal, and I appreciate the environment under which it's made. So
Yeah.
it's very cool. But still, it's fun to see. How we do have these ideas of should.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's incredible. And also the other usefulness is when you are doing this program with somebody and they say, oh, like, what do you mean? Well, on mine, here we go. And then you share yours. Oh, okay. So then it gives a segue and an ease, just gives that.
Yeah. That's why I'm hoping that she does this through Zoom,
Mm.
because I want my notes up to do exactly that, to share some of the facilitative stuff that I've
Yeah.
made notes on,
I,
or
I, I,
again,
I was thinking about that. If she doesn't, you can just say, look, I want to have my laptop open so I can access my notes of when I did this myself. And then
Mhm.
I can share with you. And you just tell her up what you're doing. And then, okay, all right, no problem. Because it will add a lot, and it will give me extra, that I can share with you, which will be helpful. Oh, all right. There you go. So,
Yeah, true. True.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
She'll take whatever you say, if you say it with ease and confidence and assurity, there you go. It's there, So
yeah,
just be
yeah,
aware
just
of your power of queuing, So.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you doing what you can to prepare as much as you can for the typical issues of life? For me, I try to be as impeccable as I can in all that I do and do my best to handle each situation as it arises with the least amount of stress and anxiety. There's always stuff that comes up, and
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
you
As
know,
much as you can. That was the key part
Exactly.
there, right? As much as you can,
Yeah.
within reason, obviously, and as appropriate, it's taken for granted. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've never ever sat around and said, no, I'm not prepared for life. And, I can't do stuff. I mean, just simple, you know how to use a screwdriver and a hammer, for crikey's sake, that's it. I mean, it's one example. You know how to talk to people. You know how to go and do research. There's simple things, but a lot of people can't do any of those, right?
Hmm.
They can't pick up the phone and make an appointment, for crikey's sake. They're terrified of doing so.
Yeah. 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 And it just,
Yeah,
it's a real wake up call when you see the differences. What we think is simple or just
exactly,
unconscious, and we just do,
exactly,
and how other
exactly,
people can't do those simple things.
exactly.
Like I know people, they can, oh, can you make that appointment for me?
Yeah,
Oh, I have
it's
to call.
astonishing, right? Right. And we
Really?
have to be very cautious of this because if they get a clue, you think it's preposterous and outrageous and crazy, and to that extent, then they will back away from sharing it with you.
I
So,
asked the woman, that brings up a point that was here about the transitioning and her
uh,
baggage. So, she was here, 3.5 hours. And at the end, I said to her, because she, doesn't have the money. I said, I'm just curious. I said, this is a very different approach. I said, I'd really like your input of what you thought about your session today and what you kind of took away from it. What value? She said, Sue,
Ah.
she said, first of all, she said, you didn't glare at me and go, "Are you kidding? Like, why did you stay with him all those years?" Or make those comments or even the faces, because she'd catch him in his infidelity and then she'd
Yeah.
let him back in, and she'd do this and then she'd let him back in. She'd protect her kids and then she'd let them do whatever they do. She's a big enabler, a big pleaser. And she
Ah,
said, and I really felt I did not feel judged here.
correct. She felt heard.
Yeah, and within minutes, and she said, I don't normally open up like this.
Yeah,
She said,
yeah.
and she was crying within the first
Oh,
couple minutes.
there
I
you
said, that's
go.
the safe space that I create for you,
Exactly.
that I want you to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
able to open up. I said, you'll learn
yeah.
more about yourself and I'll understand
Exactly.
more.
And sometimes the dump is the therapy.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Just
And
that space. You create a space, it gets dumped in. Okay, thank you very much. We wrap it up and we throw it away, and there you go. All right. You feel better
people
now? Yes, we feel better. Thank you very much.
people that think that they don't have anything to talk about or that their mindset is clear.
Exactly.
I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
the problem. Otherwise, what are you doing here if you thought so clear in all this? So
right,
yeah.
right. Or why do you enter another program if you don't have any issues? Why do you need help from somebody else in another area?
Exactly.
So there is something going on. So,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
no, I'm good on the mindset part. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I try not to get into that
Yeah.
what they think is okay. Just share, just talk. Explain
Yeah.
it to me. I don't care whether you think it's good or not. Just
Just
to
share
me,
it.
just
Yeah.
share it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
give me
like
your
I
opinion.
always hear
And it's
you going, "Tell me." No, I wanna hear it. I wanna hear all the details, and that's a cool line
yeah,
to just invite them in. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I find this very useful. It came up in the capital diplomacy course yesterday with Erica. What are alternatives to and then? What else? Is there more? I'd like to hear the rest of it. What do you mean the rest of it? That was in their minds they say this, but if you have that kind of a certainty and expectation, they're like, I didn't. What else? And then the mind automatically goes there. The point I was making though is to have alternatives and variations to such expressions available. To think of them ahead of time, because I've had people who tell me long stories, right? And I say, what else? And I may do that a dozen times, literally, or even more. But now I don't want to be saying what else, what else, what else. It gets repetitive, and when they start hearing that repetition, they say, "Oh, I've been going on for so long." So I like to throw in the variations so as not to cue that this is going on a lot, and they are continually finding something more, something more.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much more can come sometimes when they every time they think, oh, let's say, no, what? Oh, okay, then there's more. It's incredible. So it's just useful to have these prepared variations, just synonyms, really. But it's
Yeah.
we don't always think of it in the moment. So it's just good to think of it ahead of time. I like
Yeah.
to prepare that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that. Oh, I do that. Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just take this and I'll hold on. Hey, how you doing? Can I can I Hey, how you doing? Can I call you back? I'm on Zoom. Okay. All right. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Okay.
That ring is like a panic ring, like
I
yeah.
yeah. It's like an old I like because it sounds like our old phones when I was little.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember those. I
The
remember those.
black ones you pick
Yeah,
up.
yeah, it was the only ring you got. No choice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Hmm.
Do you feel guilty because you have not done as much as you could have? Does this get dealt with by worrying? For
Hmm.
me, in the past, I may have, but I have much more awareness. But the more awareness I have about things and with the tools that I now have, there is less probability of feeling guilty. I just need to be impeccable, and that will be enough to cancel out any guilt. Worry is never a true solution for guilt.
I don't know if I mentioned it here somewhere, probably in a roundabout way, but when we start to equate worry with inaction, oh man,
Inaction? What do you mean?
Yeah, inaction. I'm worrying. Then just do something, whatever little thing it is. Just do something about it. Oh, okay, I've done. And then the worry tends to, go less.
I know what you mean. Yeah. To just do it.
I
Do
mean,
something.
you're worrying about calling somebody for the appointment. Well,
Fucking
no,
call
do it.
them.
Call the
Call.
appointment and just get it over and done with. That's
Yeah.
the key. Do it, get it over and done with. The inaction is what leads to the worry.
Yeah. And
So
I think,
even,
yeah, that's what shifted with Rosemary, the therapist,
Exactly.
the other
Exactly.
cousins.
Right.
You can think about this all day long. And again, for many, many years, I'm like, what the hell? I see how much I was just spinning in that bubble and not knowing it. Just write a fucking letter, call them, put your big
Exactly.
girl
And
panties on, Sue.
exactly.
You
Exactly.
know this is wrong. Why are
Exactly.
you allowing this to be okay when you really know it's not?
And it doesn't have to be perfect. Do your best and trust. That's it. We don't know what perfect is, so you can't stress about it. But the point is, we do know what is not perfect, what is imperfect, and that's doing nothing.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
We know the situation is crap, so do whatever you can to make it better. Because the alternative is you keeping on accepting a crap situation. End of story. Oh, it's just very powerful. Inaction and worry, when we see them and as one and the same thing for the most part, it's very powerful. Even if it's something in the future, you can't do anything about it now. You can always do something. You can do some preparation. You can do some thinking about it. You can take some kind of action that, reduces it, whatever. Always can do something. So it's very useful to see that.
Yeah. Do something about it, not just
Exactly.
do something to distract yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
I
you
mean,
said.
okay, you're worried about calling for an appointment. Well, maybe you can practice calling for appointments or something like this, or you can think it through or something. It's always something you can actually do instead of worry. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, Slide 15 is a quote. Should is the leash of the masses. My
Isn't that
takeaway
so?
is when we live by shoulds, they restrict us in every way. Just like being on a leash. You can only go so far. Can only go so far.
Exactly. And the other part of that is the implication. Oh, yes, the leash restricts us, but a leash is also held by somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's holding your leash at the other end of that should? Yeah. I like that quote. That's a cool quote.
Yeah. I can only type. I can hear it, but I can't type correctly enough.
It's all right. It's called being a spaz.
Yeah, there you go. I'll take it.
That was a thing when I was a kid, right? Don't be a spaz. But that word, it became unpopular. Oh, you can't say that.
Perfect. Perfect. 16. Justifications and validations for seeking attention. Worry equals good equals we care. So therefore, worry and anxiety are justified and validated, uh, and are a validation of my belief to this
Yeah,
association or
yeah,
misbelief to this association.
yeah. Cool.
It is really hard to justify attention just for the sake of attention. So instead, we use anxiety and worry and connect them to the caring and the goodness so that we can get attention.
Yeah.
It seems justified, and so it validates itself, supposedly.
Supposedly, exactly.
But in reality, it is really just about attention seeking. This
Mm,
applies in many ways to hypochondria, doom and gloom, bad looks, bad relationships, all of which are just other ways to get attention, but can never be supported when they are done for this reason. So they are disguised via anxiety and worry. So
yeah,
my takeaway is worry and anxiety are always looking for justification, and we seek it through things like caring and goodness and hypochondria and doom and gloom, bad looks, bad relationships, all of which are just other ways to get attention in an appropriate way.
Or what you believe to be appropriate. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a believed to be appropriate way. Yeah. It's fascinating, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
I uh I'm curious to see, or keen to see, this particular slide, how it will impact on somebody like, a worry pot,
Mhm. Yeah.
because this is it's kind of
Because
a
there's
harsh side.
the doom, it's a hard thing to swallow, the doom and gloom, because that's
It's
what
all
they
about
live in,
attention.
and it's
You
about
you have
attention. They're like,
right.
not
All the
me.
stuff you're doing. It's like, come on. They might now. What I'm hoping would sort of happen. Yeah, but I don't do it for attention. Yeah, but it may look to others like you're doing it for attention.
Mhm.
Oh, now, well, worry about that. If you don't want to worry about it, you see what I mean? It becomes the kind of an idiot loop. But hey, if it works, all right, because they might actually be concerned. I never thought that people will think my worrying is just a means to get attention. I think
Mhm.
that's a very, very powerful leveraging perspective and idea. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
very
Definitely.
cool. Very
And
cool.
again, once you trip that trigger, hopefully it will make them think, "Ooh, geez,
Exactly.
I don't
Yes.
want somebody to think that I'm
It's like,
doing
"Crap,
this
I
for
didn't
attention."
realize that. Oh shit! I better get myself out of this now. And start undoing this. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because they do want attention, and they know they do want attention, but find better ways to get attention. You don't have to get it in this way. I mean, Bernadette is a great example. I mean, she's got. I mean, just the upholstery and the art, just the two things that I know about her already. I mean, okay, those are things she does, but they come as a function of her as a person. I mean, she's a sweet person. She's earnest and sincere. She is a good person. She does care for real, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. She's a very, very good person.
And
She just
it's a big
stands in her own
problem.
fucking way, and she needs to figure out what is really motivating her
Yeah.
to think that this is an acceptable way to live.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, it's a deeper problem sometimes, and that is about appropriate appreciation. They feel they do want or deserve or appreciation or like it, but you can't get it by saying I'm good, I have qualities, I have skills, because this is egotistical and self-important, right? So they can't do it by being honest about their goodness. They have to do it in these roundabout ways. So if they can unhook from this and say, hey, look, if you're going to have good qualities, just be honest about them. Does make you egotistical. Egotistical is when you are artificially claiming things there. No, you are a good person. Yes. Yeah, I am. Okay. Well, you are nice. You are kind. You are generous. Oh, okay. So it's this self-appreciation, honestly, that now becomes the way to get this attention and appreciation,
Yeah.
especially from yourself. Once they can do that, then they don't need to get it from anywhere else. But
Yeah.
because they shut that down, because they feel egotistical and it's wrong, then it creates all of these other problems.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. She was here the other day. I needed to help her with her square because she's doing this show. And, we went over it, and, it's really so fucking simple, but she gets all beside herself. I don't want to look like that's the thing. I don't want to look like an idiot. I don't want to be fumbling. Said, okay. So I said, do you have any questions? You got all this. Yeah, well, I hope I can remember all this. Remember all this, Bernadette? You take out the unit, the little reader, the instant reader.
Right.
You turn it on.
Yeah.
Then you pull up the app, put in the amount, and hit charge. Stop it. I said, what? Oh, I hope I remember all of this on Sunday. Bernadette, you will remember. Come on.
Exactly.
Come on.
They pre-excuse failure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It's they get out of jail free. Pre-excusing failure. This is it. Worry, and it's one of the reasons. Pre-excusing. So what if you bloody fail? They're so afraid of it. I hope, likely there's one of those critical parents involved that are always, stressing on them, with failure and doing it right and all this stuff.
Mhm.
But still, it's good to be aware of, this pre-excusing of failure.
Oh,
You don't have to worry if you're going to fail or if you don't mess it up. So what?
so what?
Okay.
So what?
Trust
Maybe then you'll
yourself.
learn. And again, that's that whole thing too of, it connects to worry and anxiety. It connects to commitment. It's like making a mistake. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Know that you're going to make mistakes, because if you think that you're never going to make a mistake or that's your goal, then you've stopped learning. And you shut every ounce of knowledge off because there's no receptivity, because you fucking think you know everything, and nobody ever does. Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody.
There's
Yeah.
also that fear of responsibility, or not fear, dread of responsibility, avoidance of responsibility.
Mhm.
I mean, if I have to think I'm going to be doing it, well, then I'm pretty much responsible for my own life, and I can't call on others to bail me out and help me out and, indulge me. So,
Yeah, that one you just did that podcast with or the
Daniela.
Facebook Live. No, the Facebook Live. And it was about what was the title of it? Like uh getting to oh God, what was the name? How did you name it? It was
The recent one,
it was I think on the
assuming
23rd.
choosing the circumstances of your birth.
No, the one before that. It was oh God damn it. Let me think for a second. It was
I gotta add them in here.
uh
It was about responsibility we were talking about. Decisions, choices.
yeah, choices. But the heading was just so relatable, I guess is my word. Um, not making sense. Um, mm, mm,
Wow, I don't know. I can't
yeah,
remember what
it
the
was,
titles were.
let me just see. I made some. Hold on, let me look here a second. Uh, hmm. Huh. What the hell? I gotta find that because it was such good information.
Yeah, I'm looking myself here now, but I don't
It
know
was on
where.
the 23rd. That date sticks out in my mind. On the 23rd. And my big thing is
23rd. That would have been of April. Oh, maybe I do have it in the guides. Then hold on. Maybe I do have it because I keep forgetting to add them in there, but that I may have had that in there. So let's see.
um,
On the what's important for actual real life change.
That's it. That is so relatable on so many freaking levels. Uh, yeah, and that was, just yeah, real lasting change. Yeah, you're talking about commitment and trust and applying yourself and patience, and it just if you want something to change, this is what has to be involved. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're, trying to speak another language, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to be a better wife or partner, look at all the things there that was so relatable to so many things. But one of the the big thing is, man, know that you're going to make mistakes. Know that you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to be able to do that, for that to happen. There's no question.
I mean, what's important for actual real life change is actually doing something and kind of sticking with it a little bit and trusting and being open to change and to mistakes. Well, they're not mistakes; they're just alternative learning. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, that was. I just found where I had it.
it's in the guides tab. I need to add the more recent ones. I keep forgetting to put them there. But there's a videos. It's called Sassy Facebook Live videos. So I put them in there. So I've got to, if there's a place to find them in that tab.
Good.
Now I gotta go and find the two last ones that I did, or three. I don't know where. Ones that came after that.
Yeah, to put them in. Yeah, now let me go back to find out where I was here, because I popped out of it. Hercules, it's okay, buddy. We're getting presents. We're getting presents. Good boy. Let me see. Thank you. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. Still not over it. Let's see. When we're going to look for justification, anxiety was also excuse for boredom. Hercules. Slide 17. Anxiety and worry is also an excuse for boredom, or justifying and validating the indulgence of gossiping.
That's right.
When we express a concern about someone else's shortcomings, usually anxiety and worry are at the helm. It is really nothing short of a cover-up for your superiority expressing itself. So my takeaway.
Go.
Anxiety and worry are great excuses for boredom, justifying and validating the indulgence of gossiping or pretending to be worried about someone's shortcomings, but when it really just represents your need for superiority. End of story. Oh, I'm so worried. You hear people do, oh, I'm so worried about so-and-so, they did this, and I think they have a drug problem. Or really? What is that making you feel better?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also like who they're marrying or going out with and all that. Come on. Exactly.
Who cares? Yeah. Slide 18, limited context perspective. Almost always anxiety and worry are applied in a limited context. This is because the positive usually has just as much opportunity for being true as the negative. But still, worry and anxiety only see the negative, therefore it is considered a limited context perspective. Besides, probability gets ignored or not even considered, causing a restriction of content text perspectives that instead magnifies and concentrates on what the focus is via the immersion. When that immersion is potentially negative, the result can only be anxiety and worry. So for me, my takeaway was, if you can't see both sides or all sides, then you have a limited context perspective. And anxiety and worry has a limited perspective because it only sees the negative aspects of things. If you cannot see more context perspectives, you only see through the single lens. And if that lens is negative, then the only anxiety and worry can be demonstrated from it.
There you go. Yeah. I was just thinking when you were reading all that you can look at this course not only as for dealing with anxiety and worry, but it's also a thinking course.
Mm-hmm.
It's really all about, just thinking differently. But when that different thinking is kind of how to think a little bit more efficiently and effectively and appropriately, right?
Mhm.
Very
Exactly.
cool. Very
Exactly.
cool.
Slide 19, tasks. How do you justify your anxiety or worry? For me, I don't think of it as justifying my anxiety or worry. Again, that was a tough one for me to answer. Like, I don't justify it. Uh, I, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Oh,
mean, it'd be interesting to
exactly.
hear what somebody like a Bernadette would say. How do you justify that?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
maybe by this time they'll think, well, you know, it makes me feel good, or it makes me think I'm being concerning about someone, or that that worry is a good thing. So I mean, I can't even, it doesn't even work for me in my brain to justify, to think that I have to justify something like that. But I guess a worry pot can, hopefully they can spit it out.
It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get attention out of it? Well, there's good. For me,
Yeah.
the only attention I get if I worry is the attention I give to myself, because I usually keep my anxiety to myself.
Exactly. And what a way to kind of, when looking at it from a self-talk point of view, how is this any good?
Any good? What am I doing here? You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
sometimes if,
And you have
and
it.
again, I don't know if it's worry or anxiety. Like if there's an
Right.
issue or a problem, I don't normally bring it to
Yeah.
that worry to someone else, because it's not their problem. Why? Yeah, I can figure this out. So I keep it to myself. But then you realize, what the hell am I doing? What usefulness is this that I could possibly be worried or have anxiety over something like this? It's almost ridiculous when you really,
Amazing. Isn't it amazing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully she sees all this,
Yeah.
the simplicity of what you're trying to
Yeah.
teach
Yeah.
people in this, that
Yeah.
it
Uh,
really,
yeah.
really,
I feel
this
it.
is really what you are choosing to have in your life. That's the bottom line. Really?
All right. So on that question, you said, hopefully she sees it. This is where the repeat backs and the takeaways become critical. And
Yeah.
making sure initially, at least, in that first session or two, that they really get this idea of what it is, the repeat. Because when they do the repeat backs and the takeaways, and even if they're just doing this course, to make a little mini dictionary of power just from this, because that's the capstone of the awareness, is that one concept that you're pulling out of it. Like attention in this case, we were talking about, oh, I'm doing it for attention. Well, hey, put attention, getting attention into your dictionary of power. It's like, wow, okay, this is a big issue in my life. But if they get into it in that granular detail, and where they are owning it, because they are expressing it in their own words, they're doing that takeaway. This is my thought, my idea, my understanding. That's when they really start to get it.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's the
Right.
key.
That is the
You
key. That
can't
is the
force it
key.
any other way. You can't force it any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have to do that and do the doing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is it possible for someone not to get it?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. They just refuse. They just absolutely refuse because the responsibility is too much. They don't want to get it.
Mm,
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
mm,
Yeah. If they are earnest and sincere, it's very hard to do so, but absolutely they can. Or you get people who the deeper underlyingness of something, it is so life changing, and also they need to change not only themselves but their environment, and they're not prepared to do this. Leave a situation or whatever, and then they won't get it because they're not willing to face the awful truth, or to change the circumstances, or make the effort, deal with the overwhelm, whatever. There are many reasons why people refuse to acknowledge truth of this kind. So yeah, so they know it, but they refuse to know it because of the implications. Yeah.
mhm. Oh, got you.
It's a sad situation
Sad.
sometimes.
It's
I
very
can
sad. I'm
understand it.
just,
I mean, if you're in a situation where things are pretty comfortable for you, I'm being taken care of and all this, but well, okay, I got to put up with the husband's crap or whatever. Okay, some women are quite happy doing so and do so legitimately. All right, you want to screw around, fine. I don't care. I've got my house. I go out. I do whatever I want to. They're completely open and honest about it. They have no problem. They don't feel guilty at all. But others, pretend it's not happening and anguish and suffer and all this. Either way, make a choice, one way or the other. But be free and clear. So they don't want to, and I can understand they don't want to because they don't want to go and work for themselves. They got it pretty easy. They're sitting with their ass in the butter.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But don't be a hypocrite. That's the problem. Don't
Yeah.
make yourself suffer. Be honest about it. It's no problem.
That's why I'm hoping, the next month I said to Bernadette, put everything on the back burner, get your work done, get caught up, get through your shows, and then we're going to visit this if you still want to. And hopefully it's going to give her that time to think about, because she goes, oh geez, that means I'm going to have to go pretty deep in here, huh?
Yeah.
So if she doesn't want to, I mean, I will absolutely respect that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Not what I would
Again,
choose.
it's a choice.
It's a choice.
You're gonna go, but again, to me, when they bring that up, I always try to associate with, yeah, but it's fun, it's joyful. You'll see, and it always connected to some sort of positivity. It's not as bad as we think it is. It's actually quite fun. It's a joy. We'll have fun doing this,
But
and then it sort of shifts.
But like you said, you have to be prepared for a friendship, in this case, to change. Because then it will be, are you fucking kidding me? You lean on me or ask me or come to me all the time and claim that this is being helpful to you because you're taking things away from it to help yourself. But are you really? Or are you blowing smoke up my ass? Because, sometimes when she's in those spaces, she's tough. She's tough to get her, out of it. I think her thing is attention. I think it's loneliness.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Big time loneliness. Big
big
time
time
loneliness.
loneliness, and she
And
fell
that's
for.
hard to deal with. Loneliness is hard to deal with, because they don't want to go out and make friends. They don't want to make an effort.
Yeah,
And the
she
feeling,
makes it sound like she's such a cynic and people won't want to be friends with her because she's has such a cynical attitude of life. Well, yeah, it's not my favorite part of her, that cynicism. I can see being cautious, but to think everybody is out to get you, and come on, Bernadette, really? So she just avoids everything so that she doesn't have to deal with that,
people dig themselves into holes. So,
absolutely.
I had have a Facebook friend. They used to comment when I was posting posts more regularly on my own timeline. Before I kind of shifted. Now it's all in the group. So they used to comment on my post fairly regularly. She made one all-time classic post. I said, magic is all around us. All we need to do is look. And she comment was, staring is key. Ha ha. I love that comment. Staring is key. Anyway, so she used to come, and then she went off and had this drama. But man, she's into, out of body experiences and aliens and God knows what, all portals, and people trying to get her and want to exploit her for money, and she's in this big war. And Jesus Christ, what a complicated life. Now, she called me yesterday and we had this chat, and she's sharing all the stuff with me. And again, of course, she's lonely. She wants to be friends and chat about the stuff. But it's all so that she has somebody to express all of this stuff to, because, this is what gives her importance in some way, so it's difficult, it's difficult.
Who is that? I mean, I'm friends with her on Facebook too. The one that comes on most of your Facebook lives. Sometimes she's
Oh,
the only
Daniela.
No. The one,
Blanca.
no. She's a heavy set woman with dark hair. Like she commented a lot on how to really make lasting change in your life. What the heck? If I heard her name, not Margaret.
Georgianne.
Georgianne Oblinskik or something like. What is her story? Is, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, she came once a little bit on the Facebook, very briefly, but not really as a participant, just commented more or less. But she types comments. I
Yes.
don't know. I think she's just in a kind of a bubble, and when I did speak to her, she came on Zoom just privately once, and I spoke to her. Um, uh, very kind of, they talk the talk and understand the language, but they don't really get it fully. And they're actually very simple people, and not particularly bright or sharp.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. This, I see it quite regularly, but boy, they are like champions in regurgitating the language.
Exactly. And that's what I heard. I thought either she understands this program or but you look at her picture and then you hear some of her comments about she calls herself struck stupid or stupid struck or something like that. I thought, wow, that she's missing a big component. It sounds what she types in very on the money, on the mark,
Fascinating to me.
but she doesn't look that part, the energy that comes off of her pictures. I'm like, whoa, what is missing here? Yeah.
Right. So it's very interesting, I mean, a sweet person.
Yeah.
So yeah, but still, clueless in a lot of ways. But also, they pay attention, they make an effort, and they absorb some of the stuff. So they're not entirely
Right.
clueless, but
Right.
at the same time, they don't get the fuller picture, and they do believe they do, and that holds them back.
I think that struck stupid with her is such a pinnacle point in her life where somebody told her that, or she believed that. So she's constantly trying to prove and validate her knowledge by, well, this is about discipline, and this is, you should do this and do that. And you're like, yeah, exactly right, Georgianne, blah, blah, blah. So it makes her feel good that she is just trying to validate a misbelief she has of herself about being stupid.
Right. And the more she does that, the more she feels stupid, because she's always evaluating her own stupid. So it becomes a self-affirming
There you
loop
go.
that is in.
There you go.
It's too amazing.
Yeah. It's absolutely interesting how what you can pick up when you just listen to people, or
Exactly. Just let it come. Just let it come.
Slide 19, their tasks. How do you justify? Oh, no, we did that one. Is boredom a factor with your anxiety and worry? For me, I don't ever allow myself to be bored. I don't. That is one thing I am a champion at, is not being bored.
I'm sorry. If you say I'm bored, that just says stupid.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, this is just an acknowledgement that you have no imagination, no creativity. You cannot possibly think of something to do. You're so it's like, really, I mean, it's the most horrible admission you can ever make.
Yeah. I mean, really, I mean, it's stupid to me. I mean, boredom, at first I had to kind of identify boredom was sometimes you're tired and you need to relax or sit down, that doesn't mean you're bored. I always have something to do. I don't have a long list of stuff written down, but there's always something. How can you be bored? How?
I know. I mean, it's like, man, where do you find the time to be bored?
Exactly.
Blows my mind. There's a million zillion things to do out there, to learn, to grow, to understand, to practice, to enjoy. Like, holy moly!
I just, it's word that doesn't.
The perverse pride in it. Like, oh, this means I'm jaded, I'm sophisticated, I'm cool. Oh, somebody's got to entertain me. That's really most of the time. Come on, entertain yourself. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I'm bored. Oh yeah, no, there it is. I need to be entertained.
Right. It's my responsibility. Yeah. It's too fascinating.
Yeah, good word. Yeah. What are the motivations or reason behind your worry and anxiety? Are they always valid? For me, sometimes they may seem to be valid, but when I really look at the issue underneath it all, it removes the validity for any type of anxiety or worry. I mean, yeah, maybe you're entering into something you never did before, or you're going to walk the tightrope wire from the Empire State Building to a hotel. I don't know, yeah. Yes, there's some reasons to be a little worried, a little anxious about going on a tight wire rope,
Right,
but
right.
they don't have to be validated, because if you've taught yourself well, you understand the conditions of the air, the whatever, your shoes right or whatever, then you just do it. Then you just do it. See, this, I guess it's going to be a really good thing for me to hear, because it sounds so stupid why people really have worry and why they have anxiety. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But everybody has it. Why don't I have it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the bigger question. Why don't I have anxiety and worry? If it's
There
such
you go.
a big deal, and am I missing something?
Well, you can think of it this way. During flu season, everybody might have a cold and flu, but you don't,
Mm-hmm.
because you paid attention. You didn't go and shake hands with everybody, and you didn't, you wash your hands. Whatever you did, you didn't catch it. You didn't get immersed in it. So I think it's the same thing with worry and anxiety. It's basically like the virus. They catch it and then they get stuck in it, and it just loops. So
Okay.
don't have to catch it.
True. Like you don't have to catch a cold. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Pay attention to others who worry or are anxious, and share what you notice about their motivations and justifications for what they do. For me, like in the case of Bernadette, I think her motivation for worry and anxiety is from loneliness and the need for attention that she may believe is not the case. Yeah. Yeah. Worry. Yeah.
Now, what would she rather be doing? Being anxious and worrying, or acknowledging loneliness?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It fills up her life. But again, if you're content with yourself and you're happy with yourself and you enjoy yourself and you learn to self-appreciate, loneliness goes away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 It's such a unproductive thing to do.
Exactly.
Choose something that you like, that you'd rather be doing. Yeah, that's a great question to
Just
put in there.
options, options. They don't know there are options. And it's like that, we say, well, why not you? Well, because you made an effort to not settle for these options that you don't need to settle for.
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Yep. Make a list of positive possibilities and alternatives to things you typically worry about. For me, good things like more business and self growth come from it. I become more creative because I make more options to choose from. Uh, make a list of positive possibilities to things you typically worry about. Yeah. Yeah. If I'm worried about work, or I'm worried about my creative side or something, just get involved and do something and learn more. Just get down there and create something, whatever. You just do it. Jesus.
Exactly.
Nike.
Exactly.
Nike had the idea. Just do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
How probable are the positive options compared to the negatives? For me, the positive is far more probable than the negative. But it's funny how we think. Why psychologically do people choose that negative one first instead of the positive? Is it because it's easier?
Yeah, and also it is easier because it's the first thing that come to mind because we train to think negatively. Don't. Right.
Mhm.
So we have a fear of those because we've been looking to avoid this all the time. So, that fear makes us pay attention to it. We've been trained to. But I think also it's part of the inner bureaucracy. If you miss the negative and it's disastrous, you're in trouble. If you miss the positive, so what?
Mhm.
So there's a very real safety issue to it. Huh?
Say that again.
If you are wrong about your positive assumption, your positive possibility, if that doesn't turn out to be positive, yeah, okay, so what? Or if you just don't connect to it, or if you miss it, well, you missed some positivity in your life. But that negative thing, if it actually turns out to be true, you can get screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this fear of calamity and disaster that underlies it.
Okay.
Now,
So there's
it's
where the
legitimate.
bureaucrats come in because they don't like the change. They don't like the calamity because they're all about.
Exactly, because they can't make a mistake in that regard, right? So it's like, the going out on the ice, you see a little crack and you worry about it. That's a legitimate concern because, well, you go out, you could fall through the ice and die, right? But we have to understand that when we see little cracks in the pavement, it's not the same thing as a crack in the ice. You're not going to get swallowed up by the earth. So, that a fear of calamity and disaster, we can't assume that every little thing in life is going to lead to that. Sometimes, yes, but we have to make that discernment and be appropriate. Doing those Facebook Lives is very hard, by the way.
Oh, yeah. They don't seem really easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, because I have a lot to say, and well, I'm with somebody, and they don't always have something to say, also. So I have to really struggle sometimes to balance it out. I don't mean to, always just be
Yeah.
talking, but
It was kind of funny. It's funny you bring that up. You said to Bina 2 times or 3 times, I want to hear from you. but you kept talking. But and I'm like, okay, all righty. There was no way she was going to get anything really in there.
well, in
But
that
you do have a
particular
lot
one,
to say. You do have
yeah,
a
but
lot to say.
in that particular Facebook Live, Bina didn't want to do it. She, Daniela had cancelled just before, like, I don't know,
Uh,
15 or 10 minutes before. And Bina was a bit unprepared. And she said, well, but, I don't know what's going on in this thing. I said, well, just keep me company, So, I just said it more. I'm so used to saying it. And then I kind of realized, oh, she didn't want to actually talk about it. So I just
yeah,
kept on
you kind
going.
of put her on the spot, and it looked, but it was like you're saying it for the sake of saying it, and then you probably realize, oh, she doesn't want to be prepared. So then you kept talking, and I'm like, that just
Exactly.
totally negated the fact that he
Yeah.
wanted to hear from her
Well,
because
I did want to hear from her, but as I asked the question, I see she's not going to respond. So okay, yeah, it put me in a very awkward spot.
yeah,
Absolute, she was really not wanting to and refusing to participate, really.
yeah,
So it was very strange to me. I was,
yeah,
but bothersome that okay, I mean, you've agreed to do this. You're on, take some responsibility, and I don't know, come up with anything. Just participate. But anyway, so.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit bothersome. Yeah, yeah. And she was feeling foolish as because she wasn't prepared.
yeah,
But for heaven's
yeah.
sake,
And that
you
was
got
so
to
not, yeah,
be spontaneous and share something. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah.
mean,
She's
just
she seems so much more poised when she's not seen,
yeah, yeah,
but that's not cool,
yeah,
uh,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, but it was
the
just,
whole thing was just a problem from start to
yeah,
finish. So put me in a very odd spot,
yeah,
because if I just talk the whole thing through and she sits there.
yeah. Well,
Well, also, I'm in a spot, but now I ask for participation and I don't get it. So no matter what, I was in this difficult position.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
was
I hear
hoping
you.
for a bit more there, but anyway, what can you do?
Yeah.
Okay, it is what it is.
Slide 20. Quote is worrying is something to actually worry about. You're going to worry about your worrying. It's right here. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. That's one of my favorites.
The other next slide quote, worry is a self-fulfilling worry. Takeaway, worrying is a loop of lunacy and it feeds and validates itself. Yeah, that's what I got out of that. Yeah.
Now the end, yeah. Worrying is a self-fulfilling worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they really realize how much when you start to worry, you kind of need to keep it going, and it feeds on itself.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The virus, self-perpetuating virus.
Yeah, it's like the big monster that you keep feeding.
Yeah.
And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now we're on module 3, discerning the complexity. So slide 2 just goes over the contents. Slide 3 is a quote, seriously, who do we think we're fooling? For me, the takeaway is like, who's kidding who here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I again, Bina says, yeah, I've got issues with the worry pots. I don't really, but I do feel that it is a bit necessary to put a bit of a squeeze on them. And so this quote here, seriously, who do you think you fooling? In other words, yes, I said we, but this is it. I'm putting pressure on you a little bit. I'm putting pressure on you.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I'm leveraging that self-importance,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which underlies the worrying, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the attention, for instance, and the avoidance of responsibility. How is avoidance of responsibility not an inverse self-importance?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to take responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Slide 4. What's the payoff / motivation? Oh, this is the one where people are gonna fall off their fucking rockers because they don't really like, holy crap. Yeah.
If you really want to worry, then freaking do it properly. You think you know how to worry? I'll show you how to bloody worry. Yeah, this is all the crap you can worry about now, just overload.
Yeah. Yeah. If this doesn't send a real message, this slide, I don't know what does. I laugh at how many things got put on here. It was great. Here's a few examples of payoff and motivation for anxiety and worry.
Exactly.
Attention, comfort, caution, importance, priority, getting heard, perception of caring, stress release, attempted guilt elimination, disguise, satisfaction, avoiding responsibility, belief in betterness, superiority, passive control, protection, something to do, loneliness replacement, connectedness, concentration, preparedness, problem recognition, community, part of being part of something.
Let me just pause you there for a second. It's interesting that there are in amongst these, they aren't all negative. There are some positives in here.
Yeah. Like community is positive.
Yeah.
Except when you're in a community who feeds on the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Right. But preparedness and problem recognition, those are positive. Now, community of warriors, they aren't. Exactly.
Right. But what you do about, sure, you could recognize the problem all day. Bernadette says, oh, I'm so worried. I'm so anxious. I'm so
Exactly.
And fucking do something. I mean, it really kind of gets
Exactly. So, but they fool themselves in thinking, oh, but I'm recognizing the problem. Yeah, but you're not doing anything about it. All you're doing is worrying. That is not the solution. The solution is doing something. Yeah. Right. So inaction, worrying, inaction, same thing. Exactly.
Being a part of something, doing good, feeling something, getting sympathy, avoiding incompetence exposure. There's another Bernadette. There's a couple on here. I hope Bernadette And if she doesn't, I'm going to have her go back and really look at this slide and say,
Circle, yeah. So
which
maybe print
one?
it out. Print out this page, right? And then say, because it's nice on a printed form, and say circle which apply to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. That should bring some clarity to the picture.
Because
Yeah.
you can't really do it on the computer. You can make a note and list, but that's a kind of a, I have to type. It's a lot of work, so you may skip too much effort. But if you're circling it, it's hard to not to skip them,
Yeah.
And then also the visual. You put 5 or 6 circles on a page, it looks like a hell of a lot, right? So, but she's going to have a lot more than 5 or 6, it's going to be like circle on top of circles. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, so yeah.
Feeling something, getting sympathy, avoiding incompetence, avoiding the awful truths,
Yeah.
concern expression, insurance.
That's a big payoff. Sorry, it's a simple one, but concern expression. Oh my goodness, man! People do incredible things to be able to express. And they have this vibe that comes across them. Like suddenly, I'm the most important bloody thing in the world. It's too fascinating.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
good.
simple one, but a huge one.
Yeah.
Insurance.
Avoiding awareness, truths, concerns, being right, and ego, low energy, effort avoidance, laziness, connection buffer, emotional walls, emotional
A connection
blackmail.
buffer. For people who are lonely, they don't feel valid when it comes to friendships. They are so afraid of that rejection that they just stick in the loneliness rather. It's the lesser of the evils than making an effort and getting rejected. It's amazing. So this connection buffer,
Yeah.
all of this crap, it puts a wall between them and actual interactions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's Bernadette. That is Bernadette. It's a choice, and then it's a great excuse to not get involved, to not
Exactly.
show her emotions to
Exactly.
everybody.
So here's the underlying psychology of this, and you see it in a lot of different applications. I will rather not try. If I try and fail, I've proven that I cannot. If I don't try, it's a maybe that I cannot, right? So they don't try because it'd be rather a maybe than a definite.
Yeah.
Maybe I can make friends. If I try and I fail, I can't. Now I've proven it. Now I'm a fuck up. Now I'm a uselessness. I'm a hopeless. I'm terrible. I'm whatever. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. Whatever. I don't want to have it proven.
Yeah, exactly. Then they'll even have more to worry about in their books. Yeah.
Exactly. Then it's all over. Then it's a guarantee. At least it's a maybe. A maybe is better than a definite. In other words, in their books.
Yeah.
So if they have low self-esteem.
Yeah, exposure to the awful truth.
Exactly. And the low self-esteem, that's the key here. They don't believe that they can, and they're so kind of worried about stuff and stressed and thinking that I don't have skills, I don't have goodness, I'm not all the stuff. There's low self-esteem, really. They don't want to have it proven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. The next two.
Yeah. Okay. Ego, low energy, effort avoidance, laziness, connection buffer.
Connection buffer.
Yeah. Emotional blackmail, queuing,
That emotional wall and emotional blackmail.
Yeah.
That anxiety and worry is a very potent. Now, maybe not in Bernadette's case, but people who are in a social circle and they gossip and chat a lot. Oh my goodness, they so blackmail with that anxiety and worry because they are, it's gossip really, but it's expressed as emotion. So they use it as emotional blackmail. It's very powerful. Or also just oh, you poor thing, you're suffering, and then they get help and attention, right? They blackmail your emotions for bailing them out, feeling sorry for them. Not
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, not cool. Yeah. Control, cueing, bonding, disguised gossip, misery
Yeah,
loves company. It's a big one.
yeah,
Excuse of non-creativity. Again, when she can't draw or whatever, then it's, I'm so worried. Yeah. She
yeah.
loses her mojo. Distraction from the real stuff, avoidance of actually doing, preparation for the worst, can only get better.
Yeah.
uh, Cleverness, hierarchy, telling others, um, perceived
Perceived prescience. Yeah.
dance. Uh,
Yeah, they think they can, like, if I'm worrying about the future and it comes true, well, look, see, I told you so. I see, I told you so.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I know what's going on. Uh, any idiot can predict disaster. Sooner or later, it's going to come, bro. I mean, I'll predict now that, uh, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to bring it into reality, but you pick whatever disaster you like and make a prediction. As long as you don't put a specific date on it, it's going to come true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Negative truth. Okay. Predictive, insightful, uh, emotional release. If it's a
That
vet.
insightful is a sneaky one because, when I'm being anxious and worrying about particularly people, I can share. Sometimes they're quite insightful about people's crappiness, right? But they can't say it directly. Oh, I'm worried for them. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They can actually be quite insightful. Just don't know how to express it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They may be right in that situation, but it's how
Yeah.
they express it, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Emotional release, venting, managing or reducing terror and fear. Again, yeah, that's the way they think they manage or reduce their terror and their fear. They're just adding to it, really.
I know. I know. I know. It's fascinating. Yeah.
Dealing with overwhelm. Another one.
Yeah.
Just do it. God damn it. No. Attempted path to resolution. Figuring things out. Avoidance of asking for help.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that was her problem till, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years ago. She wouldn't talk to anybody and she would dip into these dark. I didn't see her, talk to her for months. And I'm like,
Wow.
Vern, are I don't, do I feel that I got to check up on her? I mean, she never gave me a reason to feel, and that I don't want that to be the friendship that I'm always
No,
worried
no.
about.
That's good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
But she finally got to the point where when she became very, very comfortable in talking about personal things, because I would share stuff with her. She goes, Sue, TMI, or, whatever. I'm like, shut up, just listen. I don't
Brilliant.
care, you know.
I
And,
love it.
and I think it maybe unconsciously cued her to know that, geez, if I can hear that about, her skin or her body or her problem,
Exactly.
mine can't be all that bad. She's prudish in a
Yeah.
weird way. And
Yes,
so,
yes. I saw that in her, that
yeah,
prudishness.
yeah. And sometimes she makes it, her prudishness, she disguises as um, properness.
Yes,
Like
yes,
this,
yes.
her mother was
The two
English.
are very closely linked.
Yeah,
That proper is prudent. It's the same bloody things. Victorian crap that's still there. It's amazing. Yeah.
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 So until she got comfortable, then she started to not, when she goes in those places or knows she's starting there, that's when she calls and she says,
Oh,
I'm struggling. I said,
yeah.
okay, talk to me.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Don't beat around the bush or,
Yeah.
like, hey, you want to go for lunch?
Don't
I always
spiral.
knew
Don't
that there was
spiral.
something.
Yeah.
And then you got to, not pull it out of her, but it's like, okay, I never turned her down because I figured there was something behind this. She didn't really want to go have lunch or something. She wanted to talk about something. But she finally got to a point where she can call up and say,
Yeah.
do you have time? I'm really struggling about
Oh,
something.
good.
Sure, sure.
Oh,
You know, instead of beating around the bush and making it sound like,
Yeah.
oh, I really miss it. No, you don't. You miss you're missing
You
yourself.
know, I mean, I'm quite happy when my friends ask me for help. I'm
Mhm.
not happy if that's the basis of our friendship.
Exactly. And that's what we're gonna potentially
Yeah.
see
I mean,
here.
that's a
I
big,
don't think it
I'm
is.
not friends with you because I want to be helping you all the time. I mean, there are some people who do this, that is sort of like a martyr complex and all this. No, I don't have that. Thank you very much. But
Mhm.
of course, if my friendship is based on because I really enjoy you and I love you and I get a lot out of it and you're fantastic and you're awesome and I just enjoy being in your company. Of course, if you need help, I'm going to take joy in helping. It's the greatest pleasure ever. But it's not the basis for a relationship. No, no,
Right.
no.
Right.
Not for me. For some people, but not for me.
Yeah. hmm Yeah.
I mean, call up Florence if that's who you want.
Yeah, yeah. Or what was that other one that used to be the woman on the newspaper? Um, ask.
Oh,
Oh, she was so
yeah,
famous.
yeah. Not ask Emily, ask Amy, ask, I don't know. Yeah. I remember. I know you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in the 50s and 60s, she was
Yeah.
yeah, ask. I don't forget. Anyway.
Hmm.
All right. Predictive, insightful, emotional release. Oh, we did those. I can't
Yeah.
remember my spot. Dealing with you did that one. Attempted how we did that one. Things figuring things out.
We
I'm
had
like,
cry
cry
for help.
for help. I'm crying for help right now because I can't find my fucking place. Manipulation. Um, habit.
That's a sneaky one.
What?
Manipulation. You don't
Yeah,
even
but she
realize that you're manipulating the hell out of things. It's like,
absolutely.
really? You don't know that you're manipulating? Well, bloody well, clue up and get a clue. Yeah, you're very manipulative with all this worry and anxiety. And, it's not cool. People put up with it, but it's still not cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's a good response like when somebody sees that list and then they get all freaked out
Mhm.
about how much of it is them? Why, they say, why would you put such a list? Now you made me feel even worse, type of a thing.
Yeah.
You could almost hear that coming, like
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't want to face your awful truth to make change in your life.
Yeah, sometimes I would say, look, you've always actually known this. We're just making the obvious obvious. Yes. So you didn't know it all at once, but now that you do, the value in this is that this is a pressure for you to say, wow, I
Mhm,
really do actually need to do something because I pay a massive price for this. Yeah.
mhm,
Now you're just seeing it all in one go. It's the same thing. It's like, you're being nickel and dime to death by all the stuff, right? You don't notice it if it's just a nickel and a dime every day. But, if it's every second and every minute, the stuff adds up in a hurry, right? When you get faced with this big bill, you say, oh my goodness, yeah, I'm spending thousands on this crap. I don't want to be doing that,
mhm,
tens of thousands, millions. No, no, no. So this is to leverage you to say, oh my goodness, I have to do something about it.
mhm.
Otherwise, I'm going to drown in the stuff. You are already drowning. You're just not aware of it, right?
So this is a leverage mechanism
It's a leverage mechanism. Exactly.
to change,
Exactly. It's a
for
gift.
change.
And it's an awareness as well that, now you say, oh, I feel worse. But this was always there. And you do know it. You just don't want to face it. That's why you're doing this course, because you do know that you're paying this big price for it, right? So it's also about the cost, a full awareness of the cost of anxiety and worry. Yeah.
Mhm. Got it.
And then also I'll say on a positive note, to take any activity and get into it in detail, and you're going to come up with a long list like this, positive or negative, right? There are always multiple reasons why we do everything. So it applies to anything, just that, okay, Sol has an ability to be really thorough with some things. It's got a weird mind. What can I tell you? And he had some fun doing this list. All right, I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
say it.
we did. I remember the day we were all doing this. I'm like,
Yeah, it was
this
great.
is
It was a collaborative thing. So, it's once you get the brain, the nodes fired up, more comes and more comes. So you just have to know how to get that immersion, and then more comes.
yeah.
But it is to really make it clear the leverage, but also to make it clear how not dealing with it is going to be disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're right. Now that you are more aware, so now I'm really going to worry. Oh, good. Yeah, yes, this is a legitimate worry. Now, if you don't want to suffer from it, do something. Otherwise, this awareness is really going to make you suffer. So we are sort of saying, okay, you were maybe a bit tentative about this and not realizing how much of an issue it is. Well, now we're making it clear it's something you do need to do something. You cannot afford to pretend it doesn't need doing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where are we here? Overwhelming attempt avoidance for asking a card.
Okay, and then also a little perspective shift here. Sorry.
Yeah.
To say, wow, wow, wow. Just imagine if you were to think of these things as weights weighing you down that you're dragging through life. What if you just throw it all away, just like that? Chuck them all off in one go. Say, well, I'm not going to worry anymore. I don't need to. Wow, aren't you going to feel so much better? So think of it too as the reverse. Yes, being aware of it, but why do you have to insist on looking at it negatively? Can't you see it as a positive? Now that you're aware of it, you know what to throw away. Wow, man, this is a lot of stuff to give away and get rid of and feel better. Brilliant.
Yeah, like right swing.
Learn to perspective shift. Yeah, think
Mm-hmm.
positively.
Yeah. uh, habits, familiarity, righteousness.
That's a big one. That
Yeah.
bloody righteousness.
Yeah. Mm.
It's the same as the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. Disguised judgment. Yeah.
That's in today's world. God, I hear this thing: judgment, 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 judgment. Personally, I can't live without judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want you as my friend?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to interact with you? Are you going to take advantage of you? Are you going to abuse me? Aren't those all judgments?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Necessary judgments. You can't get avoid when I make decisions for you on your behalf.
Yeah.
Okay, that's inappropriate. Judgment itself is not to fault. It's inappropriate application of judgment.
That's
Yes, but apply it appropriately for Christ's sake.
right.
I can absolutely determine whether or not you're a shithead or not because I've got to determine that I want to be friends with you or allow you in my life or interact with you. I have to make that judgment. Otherwise, I just have to accept everybody. Oh, hell no. Sorry. Thank you very much. Not going to happen. So, so I'm very judgmental about judgment.
Mm. And rightfully so.
We get
No,
so hung up on it.
there is appropriate judgment and there's
Of course,
inappropriate judgment.
of course, you
for
can't
sure.
avoid judgment in your life. If you don't judge things, you're going to be in trouble in a hurry. So it's too fascinating to me. But it's this big. You can just say judgment, and it's like, oh, that's too fascinating. Yeah, it's been big dealified. Judgment. It's a massive thing. But now, when you say, "Oh, your worry is disguised judgment," this is a massively powerful lever. That's why I'm highlighting it because it in today's climate. This I never thought that I'm disguising my judgment. Others may see this. Oh crap! Now I'm in trouble. Oh bloody! I better not stop doing that. So yeah, very powerful leverage there.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
You're like 5 or 6 lines from the bottom, if that helps.
Yeah. Leveraged implication, innuendo, awareness of self problems via opposite.
Yeah. So that innuendo, by the way, as well. Say, look, isn't that just being a coward in a sense, being crappy? You're implying stuff that you don't want to say directly. How does that make you look? What does that say about you?
Mm-hmm.
You think you're getting away with it, but who are you really fooling? Which just goes to our first slide, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not fooling anybody.
Yeah. Nobody but yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Innuendos, risk assessment.
Sorry. So that previous one, that's a big one too.
Awareness of self
Awareness
problem.
of self problems via opposite. Everything you pointing out and worrying about in others, it's something that you just don't want to face inside yourself typically, and you're just externalizing it, projecting it. Oh crap.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's the problem. They don't want to actually make the make the effort to work on themselves. And like you said, do people not get it? Yeah, they get it, but they don't want to make that effort to actually work on it.
Isn't that in psychology? Isn't that transference?
Yeah, or projection, right. Right. But I mean, the reason they do it is because, or they know but once you point out to them that they're doing this and they see this, they say internally, they go, yeah, oh shit, yeah, that's true. But well, they don't want to actually make the effort to learn and deal with it and work on themselves to actually make the effort to change. It's too much effort, it's too much work. So, all right, never mind. I'll just go back to that. And that's when they withdraw and they don't get it because they don't want to actually make that effort to really change and work on themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a hard problem to avoid. That's your effort
Yeah,
reward choice. Okay.
absolutely.
It's on
Yeah.
you. It's on you.
Face the, self-honesty, self-truth. Yeah.
Exactly.
Risk assessment. Tapping into your inner child. And I think you have you tapping into you inner child.
Yeah, let me change that right now. Thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very good.
Self-pacification. Yeah. Self-care. You think that, that's a plus here. Need for love, getting sympathy, self-pity, pitied, unresolved love, valuable contribution, conversation avoidance, emptiness aversion, convenience, awkward silence filter. Is it filler or filter?
Filler. Yeah.
Awkward silence. Filler.
Yeah.
Filler. You're right. It's filler.
Yeah.
Bringing the unknown in the known.
Into the known. Yeah.
Into the known. Identifying potential fears and problems. Inadvertent confession. Prevention. Conscious appeasement. Yeah, and all these, Jesus, it's absolutely absurd how many people will end up circling. Fulfillment of duty, satisfying a should, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I mean, again, that one that just jumped out was that inadvertent confession, when people end up in all their worry, end up saying something that they did that they're confessing. And that's what it was all about, really, not the worry. It's them being guilty for something that they've done.
Yeah. It's astonishing. How people, they need to get it off their chest. So they, do it via somebody else. It's too fascinating. It is too fascinating. And that conscience appeasement, same thing,
Yeah. They're trying to convince themselves that it's okay to do what I'm doing here. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm helping myself. Oh, yeah.
I've crossed my line, the red line. I went over it, and now I've got to justify that.
That's right.
And that's it. I'm trying to turn an untruth into a truth. And you can't do it. Sorry,
Fascinating.
Learn from it. Don't do it again. It wasn't cool, and you pay the high price. Don't do it again. That's it. Learn. It's your only option. It's your only out. Learn.
My takeaway was just, for me, was like, what a freaking list.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it was a great list. Yeah. So I think we'll just stop right there today.
Sure.
I marked it.
And then print out that. Remember, to print it out, for even if you do it on Zoom, print it out and give it to her, ahead of time, that she can have it. It will really help. It'll be really, really help. I think just having a few of those copies around during a therapy session when somebody's worried. So, what's the payoff? Oh, by the way, here you go.
Here, look at this list. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Circle with supply, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It just
All right.
get some perspective on things, and I think will be interesting to see how people respond to it as well.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Definitely.
yeah,
All right, I
very
gotta
cool.
run. I got an appointment to take my car up and get they're doing this coating on it for the Volvo. It's
Ah,
free. It came with it. And they said in 2 years you have to bring it up and we'll do it again. And it's really nice. It makes the car look nice. So
brilliant. Are they Buffett and all that? Yeah, cool.
yeah, I guess. And it's some, wax or oil or something that has that coating on it. I forget what it's called.
Nice. Brilliant. Enjoy.
Okay.
Very cool.
All right,
Very
honey.
cool.
Thank you. All
All
right.
right. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Magic. And uh,